More and more Argentinian immigrants are crossing the border and coming to Brazil in order to try a better life here. What's going on? Let's talk about this after the intro. Hello guys, how you doing? More and more Argentinian immigrants are coming to Brazil as a result of the economic crisis that the country has been facing. I don't know if you guys are aware, Argentina has been facing a turmoil, an economic turmoil in the past few years that has been causing a lot of agony in their citizens. There are a lot of Argentinians that are trying a life in Brazil as a form of escaping even hunger, okay? That's terrible. I came across a headline this morning and I wanted to share that with you because it involves Brazil, of course, and it involves the situation in South America in general. For you guys who don't know, Argentina used to be one of the richest countries in the world, especially during the wars. They supplied meat a lot and even leather for other countries, right? So grains also come from Argentina a lot. So Argentina and Uruguay always had good situations. And in the past 2 decades, that's not what we see. We see a complete destruction, internal destruction of the country. And as a result, we have headlines like this, right? They choose Brazil as an option to survive, to have a better job, to have a better quality of life. During my period as a YouTuber, all these 4 years, I have come across a couple of Argentinians while filming in places like Ubatuba, for example, which is the north coast of Brazil. I was there. You can check this video here, this card, where we made a video at the beach, and I met a very nice, very friendly Argentinian girl who was here for other reasons, not economic, but she was here to live in the country. But now we see immigration breaking records, right? Argentinians crossing the border to Brazil to try a life. So I want to read with you a few parts of this report, okay? First of all, the headline says, crisis takes Argentinians to immigrate in a record number to Brazil. Okay, so they mention here at the beginning of the report, they give a few names like Pedro Canova, who is 62 years old, and he is a specialist. He's a technician in electronics. He is the father of 5 children. And he immigrated to Brazil to try a life here. He said that during the pandemic, he just stayed inside his house for a whole week. And after that, he had to go and gain the food, right? The money to put food at his table and sustain his family, right? But he said that even though he kept working during the most difficult times of pandemic, that didn't guarantee he had success in feeding his family, because most of his clients didn't have conditions to pay the amount that was necessary for his survival. That's horrible, right? Pedro has been to Brazil for a year now. He's been in Balneário Camboriú. If you guys don't know, it's considered to be the Brazilian Dubai. It's in the state of Santa Catarina. And it's a beautiful location, very high quality location. Neymar, our famous soccer player, has an apartment there, and a lot of celebrities do too. An amazing place. So he says that he's a little frustrated because even though he expected to come to Brazil and find a job in his area in 2 or 3 months, it never happened. He's still struggling to be able to position himself in the same area here in Brazil. And it's not only a special work special handman work that has this problem. Also, all kinds of problems, also all kinds of jobs are hard to be found by these Argentinians. Even, however, when they find, they say that they are paid 3 or 4 times more than they were paid in Argentina. Pedro, for example, he says that as a technician, he feels his job is much more valued in Brazil and that he's much more paid in the country, right? And the numbers in Argentina, guys, are really scary at the moment. Take a look. It says here that Folha de São Paulo, which is the newspaper I'm reading the report from, Folha says that they consulted an economist from Buenos Aires, right? And his name is Gustavo Perego. And Gustavo says that the Argentinian political system is not giving satisfactory answers to the problems. And there is an inertia on the parts of the government, of the authorities, to bring solutions to the high inflation and to this increasing dragon that is called inflation, that is destroying people's consumption power. So Gustavo calls attention for the food prices in Argentina. He says that the inflation broke the record of 109% in April. If you take the accumulation of the past 12 months, right? But he says that if you take a look at the index projected for the sector, the price is even worse. The figure is even worse. It's 197% of inflation over the food prices in Argentina, which is horrible. And he says here that there is no expectation of improvement for the next few months or the next semester per se, right? Cecilia, another Argentinian that doesn't want to share her last name, she got to Brazil on December 31st, 2021, a little after the borders were reopened, right? She had a sister already living in Brazil, so this was one of the motivators. And the second one was the fact that her money wasn't worth anything, in her words, right? And then she says, open quotations, "Here we have more opportunities that we don't have there. For you to eat bread, meat, and vegetables, for example, on the same day, it's because you have a lot of money in Argentina. Even for you to drink mate, which is a typical tea for them, it was getting really pricey." The Mercosur Treaty allows Argentinians, Brazilians, Paraguayans, and Uruguayans to live in each other's countries without any problems. But you need to request this residency. If you want to go to Brazil and live here as an Argentinian, you can do it, but you need to request this. They will make it easy for you to stay. This is a Brazilian treaty. So the number of Argentinians requesting residency in Brazil has broken records. And I'm talking about 6,601 Argentinians coming to Brazil and requesting to live here legally. Look, this is bigger than the last record we had, which was in 2019, before the pandemic, which was 5,421. If you compare the current number with the number of 2021, it's an increase of 82% in Argentinian immigration. Most of the Argentinians tend to go to the south of Brazil, Santa Catarina, Paraná, Rio Grande do Sul, but you also see a lot of Argentinians in São Paulo and Rio, and maybe other states as well. Well, guys, what do I have to say about this? I think people don't immigrate because they want to, right? Of course, there are cases where people want to live that culture, they want to experience that lifestyle, right? So I want to go to the United States. Why? Because of their culture, because of the big cars, because of the language. Of course, this exists a lot. But there are other situations where you are forced to leave your country because of violence, because of economic crisis. You need to eat, you need to survive, you need to work. So people are forced to find a solution in order to bring food to the table. It might be so hard to see your kid asking for bread, for rice and beans, or for meat, and you don't have the money to provide that. So I always say we need to be compassionate. Argentinians have always visited Brazil and they were always welcome. But this time around, they're not coming because they want to make a tour in the country. They're coming because they want to survive and they see Brazil as an international power, a world power, in the words of the Argentinians that gave an interview to this report that I'm reading. So what do I think about it? I think it's horrible to see Argentina going down as they are right now. I've studied a little history, and I know they used to be one of the richest countries in the world, not only in the continent, in the world. There was a time that Argentinians were allowed to have reserves in dollars and in pesos, their currency, right? So it was a very modern country. And nowadays, they're going through crisis after crisis. That's just horrible. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content of this video, not the crisis that Argentina is going through, of course, but the information about it that I bring concerning Brazil. Let's just pray and hope Argentina to have better days to come, right? We don't like to see anybody suffering, so we just wish them the best. Guys, subscribe to the channel in case you haven't, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.